Good afternoon friends and welcome once again. In the previous session we have studied that what do you mean by skills and how the skill are going to play an important role in making a manager. Now moving further, we also have studied that how a effective manager is supposed to be. Now we'll see the next part of it, which is talking about the role of personal skills. Now when we are talking about personal skills, before that we will understand what are the qualities that make a manager successful. To enlist those, interpersonal skills are very important. Communication and motivation, organization and delegation, forward planning, decision making, interaction, problem solving, awareness about the current scenarios, and very importantly mentoring. So in short we can say, to become a successful manager, a manager is supposed to be multi-skilled, and you can develop, you in the sense, yes my dear students, you can develop all these competencies relatively and very easily. Now we'll see how we can develop those competencies. Firstly, when we are talking about interpersonal skills is nothing but a skill that is talking about being able to create successful relationships. So it does not mean bol bachan, but it means that a manager who is having proper interpersonal skills, he is able to build a good team. He is able to learn and earn respect for others and for self as well. He also aware of how to deal effectively with the people. This is what you mean by interpersonal skill. Moving further, second skill that is associated with the interpersonal skill is communication and motivation. Now what is communication? I am communicating with you through a media. But apart from this, communication comes in all forms. It could be written, it could be verbal, or it could be listening skills. As a team manager or as a manager, the line of communication between the staff members and their superiors or their bosses and senior management is very necessary. So, a manager who will liaise with variety of people, he will do his front entry level jobs, he will interact more with people, do presentations, have a one-on-one discussion. All these are forms of communication, and this will help that manager to establish a trusting relationship. To ensure that the line of communication remains open, as a manager you need to keep yourself readily accessible. It means you should not be free all the time, but you should be there for the people whenever they are into need of it. And very importantly, let all your staff members, let all the team members know that there is a matter of maintaining just a eye contact. The moment you have eye contact, a smile on a face, and listening effectively is always going to be helpful to you to build a very good communication. This will create a positive attitude in you and motivate you to create the healthy environment in your work organization. The third important skill of a manager is organization and delegation. When we say managers, yes, multiple responsibilities come along with him. But these multiple responsibilities are sometimes overloaded. These multiple responsibilities are associated with n number of employees, attending continuous meetings, planning training sessions, and many things so on. So, a skill of a manager is to identify what are the skill of his employees on the very first part. Then, after identifying the skill, giving or assigning the duties to each and every independent skill set. This will make the manager easy to complete the job and make their team members motivate. The next important competency of a manager is forward planning and strategic thinking. Yes, आज में जियो लेकिन कल पे भी ध्यान रखो. It is nothing but think for a bigger picture. If you think for a bigger picture, it means setting the priorities. Now these priorities will be set in line with the goal of the organization. These priorities should be reviewed properly with the policies of the organization, and to do all this, a proper training process should be there. All this will create you or make you a person who is innovative and who is ready for change. This means a manager is having a forward planning and strategic thinking. Then is a next and very important skill, definitely also we can say, and it is also related to our daily lives: problem solving and decision making. Many times it happens that we have spotted a problem and now the question is how to solve it. So this question requires the outstanding attention. Why? Because in problem solving you need to remain calm. You need to remain focused though there is tremendous pressure. At the same time, along with you as a manager, you should ensure that your team members are also productive. They are not demotivated because of a problem. And by doing this, alternatively go for creative thinking. It means coming up with an innovative solution so that your team members will have total trust and respect for you. In simple words, take decisions, and how to successfully complete a task or meet a business goal is thinking for you. Next quality is your commercial awareness. Now when we say commercial awareness, if today we can see there are business scenario is changing daily. The Sensex, it is 52,000 and it may move beyond. Along with that, there are economical changes going on all over the world and all over the globe. So this skill of commercial awareness is in huge demand amongst the business employers. An individual who is aware about the current happenings, who is aware about all the trends, he is going to be preferable and most favorite one. And lastly and very importantly, as I've said, mentoring. Yes, as a manager, you should be business focused, you should be a decision maker, but at the same time, the manager is supposed to play a supportive role. Now, what is the supportive role? This role is to pass the knowledge, share your skills with your team members. This can be done with the help of training and advising the staff by building their confidence as and when needed. So these were the points which will make the manager a competent manager. Now moving further, we'll say, or in short we'll just mark down what makes an effective manager. So an effective manager is a person who communicates clearly. He listens to his team members, he makes decisions, he shows trust in the employees, he sets as a good example for his team members and for the organization, he protects the team whenever it is necessary. So these are the points which makes the manager effective. Now when we say a manager, the next word that comes in the mind is leader. So what is the difference between a manager and a leader? A leader is an individual who motivates, who engages, who develops and who empowers people. And manager is partially a leader and a manager because he is also looking after operational controls, the operations processes, the technical expertise, and he is going to be a link between your top management and the employees. So a manager should have leadership competencies, he should have professional competencies, and he should have business competencies. This was all about what a manager should be and how he can develop it. Now we move on to the next aspect of becoming an effective employee in the organization and moving towards the ladder of manager, that is personal skill. What do you mean by personal skills? It is something, as the name suggests, it is something individual to a person. In short, personal skills means the abilities possessed by a person which are deemed to be their strength or weaknesses. So, any personal skill can be a strength or a weakness for an individual. But But why we are talking about personal skill? Is it that very important? Yes. There are certain personal skills which every employer will seek into you. When you go for a job interview, the employer is going to see what is your personal skill, and he is going to be seeing to it that which personal skill is valued for that particular job profile. It is a very big thing that candidates with strong personal skills are always high in demand for variety of jobs. So this is the importance of your personal skill. We all have worked with someone who is excellent at engaging with colleagues, or you must have seen that any of your classmates must be doing something excellent. This is nothing but his or her personal skill. They communicate effectively with others. The people who are having good personal skills, they self-express and they self-manage. The personal skill does not only shape a professional trajectory, but it is also a part of your private life. Why? Because employers look for job candidates with strong personal skill because they are able to balance the office culture and they rely on variety of ways. They are always proactive and they are open for all the decisions. Now, what are personal skills? As I said, communication skill or interpersonal skill, these all are seen by us. But personal skills are not easily seen. That is why these skills are said to be as intangible qualities, or these are also said to as traits that enhance our interaction. Strong personal skills are critical to the success in the job. The strong personal skill can communicate ideas clearly. Strong personal skills are better able to focus on positive outcomes. The people who are having strong personal skill are always found to be reliable. They are more demanding in the organization and they complete the task always in time. They are also ready to see to it that what is the positive outcome of anything. These individuals are always motivated and passionate about their work. This is the importance why employers seek for personal skill. Now we move beyond and now we see what are your types of personal skill. As such, there are 4 to 5 types of personal skills. Critical thinking, problem solving, flexible and dependable, interpersonal skills and motivated. Amongst this, we have just seen what do you mean by interpersonal skill in the previous session. Now we will see what do you mean by others. Critical thinking. Yes, as the name suggests, an employer seeks for a candidate who is always ready to solve the problem on his own thinking capability. He does not bother others for finding out a solution, but rather he applies his own brain and sees to it what is something new that I can get out of it. And along with that, he make informed decisions using thoughtful analysis. This is your critical thinking. Critical thinkers are always useful in each and every industry, be it healthcare industry or be it education or engineering. Or take simple example, if he is a restaurant manager or an engineer, they need to understand the problem critically and then find a solution for it. This is how critical thinking include creativity, problem solving and curiosity in the work. Some of the skills under critical thinking are artistic aptitude, curiosity, design aptitude, desire to learn. He should be flexible enough, rigid nahi hona chahiye, innovative, coming up with new ideas. There should be a proper logical thinking. That individual should have a research aptitude, खोज करने की कोशिश. He should be resourcefulness, out of the box thinking, कहीं हट के कुछ सोचना है. Then tolerance of change, पैनिक नहीं होना है, they should have a tolerance capacity and willingness to learn. So all these are said to be as the personal skills under critical thinking. Second is your problem solving. How do we solve a problem? Problem solving is going to come up in virtually each and every job. So employer values strong problem solvers because they effectively and very smoothly take the decisions. And when they are doing this, they keep their emotions at bay. Yes, you have to be professional. Now what do problem solvers do? They gather as much information as possible. Now how they collect the information? Because they have that gut intuition in them. After collecting the information, they are going to put this information into a logical way, and then they have an innovative thinking based on it. Based on this innovative thinking, now they come up with a solution. So when we say problem solving, each and every individual should be open to ideas, and they should be having ability to work with others instead of finding and criticizing others. So an individual who is always having these categories, he is a good problem solver. Some of the major things that a problem solver has is that individual is accurate whenever he is doing any kind of task. He is assertive, in the sense positive. He tries to manage conflicts instead of going into conflicts. He makes decision. He is diplomatic, ethical in his work. He is humble as well. Humble in the sense down to earth. He is influential and insightful because he needs to understand with the other people, and insightful thought processing, thought provoking होना चाहिए. Then he is listening to other people and then understand his own perceptions. He is having patience. He is practical and realistic. So these were the qualities of a problem solver. Next is an individual with flexible or dependable. Now when we say flexible and dependability, it is connected with a tandem. Employees always prefer candidates who demonstrate reliability, responsibility and trustworthiness. Yes, an employee is going to judge you within first 2 seconds when you are going for an interview. The moment you knock the door and say, "May I come in, sir?" and the way you walk and sit on the table is the final point where the employee is going to be selecting you. And this flexibility and dependability is counted at this time. Flexible employees are those employees who adapt to change. They take projects outside of their scope, and at times they also shift their schedule if there is a need. It means they don't say that I am going to follow only one particular pattern, but I am going to be taking focus on which is going to be helpful for me. This is how a flexible manager thinks about. A flexible and dependent employee is also willing to help his colleagues when they are especially working into projects. So a flexible employee is dynamic in nature. He is helpful, he is loyal, punctual, always following time. He is responsible towards the task that is being allotted to him, and he is trustworthy and honest also. Then comes the last category or last type of personal skill, that is interpersonal skill. As the name suggests, interpersonal skill, also known as people skills. These are related to how you can communicate and interact with the people around to you. So employers want employees who are compatible with the employees or colleagues and clients. It is particularly important trait when collaboration is engaged. Being a good listener is the best important key for a strong communicator. तो पहले सुनो और फिर बाद में बोलो जो हम बोलते हैं is very important in this case. Employers want employees who can share their own ideas and listen empathetically to others. That is why listening is a very important skill. So displaying such skills will be empathy, encouraging. He is good having leadership qualities. He is a good negotiator also at times. He is a good storyteller. He is a good trainer. Then that manager will be having good sense of humor, respectful, sincere, social. Then along with this, he will be having a good understanding and best verbal communication. So in short, we can see that all these qualities are related to personal skills in 4 categories. But apart from this, there are certain more personal skills that a manager or an employer looks for. So what are those skills? I just name out you those. Personal development should be good. Generosity should be there. The attitude should be a good attitude. An individual with high emotional intelligence. Your memory skills should be very strong. You should be independent at times when you are giving a task. You should have a good performance management. Will be able to judge your own performance. Nextly, you should have a proper stress management system fit within you, a good team player and time management. This was all about your personal skill. So, whenever you are going for an interview, before that I would like all my dear friends to list your personal skill to be used on your resume. So, I just enlist those down. Which are the personal skill that a resume should have or a job seeker will seek into? Personal skill number 1, professionalism. It means acting in a responsible and fair manner. And it is a sign of maturity and self-confidence. Personal skill number 2, honesty and integrity. Employers will always respect personal integrity more than any other thing. Especially whenever there are corporate scandals, these things have become a very important aspect. Personal skill number 3, adaptability. Adaptability means openness to new ideas and concepts as a team, or it could be working independently. It also refers to an assignment when you are carrying out multiple tasks or projects. Personal skill number 4, problem solving. This deals with how to do a particular job, how to solve a problem, and then how to complete it. In short, we can say productive worker with solid work ethic. Personal skill number 5, dependability. It is always a task where the manager is going to look upon you as how to get ready and take responsibility from the action. Personal skill number 6, loyalty. It means how you will have a strong devotion towards your company. It is not at all necessary that each and every employee is loyal to their organization. Personal skill number 7, positive attitude. Positive attitude talks about the enthusiasm towards your work, and it is shown in your words and action that you do. Personal skill number 8, self-confidence. So self-confidence will be talking about your peaks of skills, education and abilities of one individual. Personal skill number 9, self-motivated. When a team is motivated, he is going to be working independently with minimal supervision. Personal skill number 10, willingness to learn. No matter what is your age, no matter what is your experience, you are going to learn a new skill and a technique, that is willingness to learn. Personal skill number 11, leadership. Leadership is something some people are born with it. It means ability to take charge and manage your core workers. Personal skill number 12, multicultural sensitivity. It means though there is a workplace with diversity, You should be able to demonstrate sensitivity and awareness to other people and cultures. Personal skill number 13, planning and organization. The ability to design, plan, organize and implement projects and complete them within a time frame. Personal skill number 14, teamwork. There are so many jobs where an individual is going to either do the job individually or work in a group. So, the ability to work with others in professional manner is teamwork. So, my dear friends, these are the skills that will be definitely listed on your resume. This was all about your personal skill. Now, once again, we will see importance of competent manager. Now, when we say competent, what is the meaning of it? Competent means proper or rightly pertinent. Or in other words, we can say having a requisite or adequate ability. Whenever the word competency comes in, it is nothing but a group's knowledge or ability or skill. So, for example, a pianist is going to have the ability to play the piano well. That is why, as a manager, as an employee, you should understand what is the basic difference between skill and competence. Skill, it is specific learned ability that you will acquire to perform a given job. But a competence is connected to your knowledge and behavior, and it will make you successful in the job. For example, we can take handling accounts is a skill, but analytical work, doing the analytics part or having a strategic planning is a competency. So, a competent manager is going to have skill plus knowledge and plus abilities. Think of skill as one of the three facets that make a competency, and the other two, the knowledge and the abilities, will be gradually coming along with you. In simple words, we can say that resume, test, interviews and on-the-job performance in the workplace are going to be a combination of the elements that are being used of your competencies. Now, what makes a person competent? The competent manager who is going to be sufficiently going to n number of trainings, who is going to gain knowledge and experience, will be a competent person. But who is a competent manager? A competent manager can be defined as the ability to meet organizational objectives, use the available resources efficiently, maintain high level of employee performance and provide excellent service to the customers is a competent manager. So a manager who is competent will be having communication competency, planning competency, teamwork competency, strategic action competency, multicultural competency and self-management competency. A manager with all these managerial competencies will always be flourishing. Why these 6 competencies are important? Because they are going to give certain benefits to the manager. The benefits like it will improve the employee safety and morale. It is going to motivate the employees. The employees will be secured while working under such managers. They will reduce the overall company risk of employees being dissatisfied, risk of having losses. The competent manager is always going to help for improved decision making. It makes recruitment and retention very easy. It improves the service quality of the employees. And very importantly, it helps in developing self-awareness about the employees. So this was all about the competent manager. Hello friends, now we start with the next concept, that is developing self-awareness. Now what is this and why we are going to talk about this? Because self-awareness is an ability to monitor our inner world, how much we know about ourselves. In broad categories, self-awareness can be internal self-awareness and external self-awareness. Internal self-awareness, it represents how clearly we see our value, passion, aspirations fit with our environment and impact on others. Internal self-awareness is associated with higher jobs and relationship satisfaction. But at the same time, if internal awareness is in negative stage, then it may be related to your anxiety, stress and depression. When we are talking about external self-awareness, it means how others people view us. People who know how others see them, they are more skilled. So for example, if others people know that how you are and as an individual, they try to show empathy towards you. And especially for the leaders who themselves see as their employees, they are going to have a better relationship. They feel more satisfied and see them more effective. So those individuals who have good external self-awareness, they are having good chances of self-awareness. In the matrix, we can see now it is a self-awareness matrix by archetypes. It is a 2x2 map where we are going to study how well you know yourself and how well you understand how others see you. There are 4 quadrants into it: the introspectors, aware, seekers and the pleasers. Now when we are talking about introspectors, these are the individuals with low external self-awareness, but they have high internal self-awareness. They are clear on who they are, but they don't challenge their own views. These are the individuals who try to ignore the blind spot of feedback, and that is why they can cause harm in their success. The second category is the aware. These are the individuals with high internal self-awareness and high external self-awareness. These individuals know who they are. These individuals know what they want to accomplish, what are their values and what is their opinion about others and others' opinion about them. Now we'll talk about the individuals with high internal and high external self-awareness. So the individuals who are in the category of aware, they know who they are. They are also aware of what do they want to accomplish, what they seek out and the value others' opinion about it. This is where the leaders begin to fully realize the true benefit of self-awareness. This is the self-awareness point about whether you are going to be a leader or you have the capacities to be a leader. The third quadrant talks about individuals who are having low internal self-awareness but low external self-awareness as well. These are said to be as seekers. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they do stand for. They also don't know how their teams or other individuals see them. And as a result, they are frustrated with their performance and with their relationships. Then comes your fourth quadrant with individuals who are low in internal self-awareness and individuals who are high in external self-awareness. This category is said to be as pleasers. Now pleasers, they can be so focused on appearing in a certain way to others because they only focus on what it is mattering for others and not for self. Over the time, they have to make choices and they aren't in the service of their own success and fulfillment. इट मीन्स रेल पटरी पे नहीं कहीं और निकल जाती है। नाउ वी हैव स्टडीड दिस 4 सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट कैटेगरीज, बट नाउ वी स्टडी व्हाट आर द टिप्स फॉर डेवलपिंग सेल्फ अवेयरनेस। Certain personality traits are going to be a good one for understanding your personality. Tests like Will's test, Myers-Briggs test, SHL test, there are many more where you'll be able to understand your attitude, your behavior, characteristics, and how to become more self-aware. At times, you could take a help of a professional. Now, professional in the sense a good coach. A coach who is going to provide you feedback, and this will enhance your level of self-awareness. A good coach is also going to help you change from a different way. The third point or the third tip is keep a note on yourself. When you make an important decision, it can be helpful. So make a note of it. What do you expect the outcome of it? What do you think will happen? And at times, if it is right, it is going to be helpful for you. Feedback analysis is definitely going to be a point of discovery of your strength. Ask always help from someone. When you are asking help from someone, you can feel that you are going to trust on others, because they are going to give you feedback on your personality, your habits, needs and values. So it may be helpful to ask people to provide feedback, but anonymously. This is going to be a more valid response. Also have a habit of asking good questions. When you are asking good questions, you should show that you are open to all types of feedbacks. Then only that feedback is going to be a good reason for you. Listen to feedback without justifying yourself. If you have a habit to accepting the feedback without defending themselves, then only you will be proving yourself. But if you avoid understanding the feedback, then your self-awareness is not going to be taking place. Be open to change. Identify the personal habits which hold you back. When you are identifying this, reprogram your brain. Reprogram your good habits and define your bad habits. At the same time, as a true manager, embrace the intuition and be also aware of what others are doing. So this is how you are going to develop your self-awareness. Thank you.